Hi, today we're going to discuss submissions page for the professor. So when a professor logs onto their account, they're going to land on this submissions page. On this page, they're going to be able to see any prior submissions they have already submitted, or they're going to be able to create a new submission. So let's take a look at those prior submissions. In order to find the one that you want, you might want to add in a keyword, or you can look at a certain date range or a certain date to find that. Or you may want to come up here and you may want to sort alphabetically, or you may want to sort numerically, whichever way works best for you to find the exam that you are, or the submission that you are searching for. All right, so what are you going to be able to see on this page? You'll see there's different columns, and over here is the status column. So this is actually was going to tell you whether or not the testing center has already approved your submission, they have rejected your submission, or they've not looked at it yet. It's going to say unapproved if they have not looked at it yet. If they have already approved it, it's going to have this here, and it is possible that they can add a message over here. I do not have a message to show you, but there would be another column here with that message if there was. If they reject it, they can also add a message over to this side. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at things that you can do with what's already here. So if you'll hover over the action menu to the left, you're going to see several choices that you have. Depending on the configuration of your testing center, you may have one, you may have none, you may have all, I don't know. You're going to have any or none of these available to you. So let's say that you do have all of them. That's what we're going to show you today. So if you want to edit a submission, you could click on edit. So let's go down here to one that has been unapproved. If you choose to edit this submission, when you come in, you're going to be able to go in and you can make all of these changes. You can change every part of it. There is nothing that you can't change on this unapproved submission. Now, keep in mind that the testing center will have had to have given you permission to edit and make in order for you to do that to begin with. But let's say that it has been approved. If it has already been approved, you're not going to see all of this. You're going to see cannot edit, cannot edit, cannot edit, cannot edit, cannot edit. You're going to see that on almost every single one of these, except there are two areas that you will still be able to come and do an edit. One is file management. So let's say that you either need to add a file, you need to add a new file, you need to remove an old one, whatever you may need to do in here, you will be able to add files after the submission has been approved. You will also be able to come all the way down here, and under eligibility and restrictions, you will be able to add or remove eligible takers. So you will have this ability. Those are the only two areas that you will be able to edit this submission after it has been approved. If you need to make a different, if you need to change something else, you are going to have to contact the testing center who can go in and make that change. All righty, so the next one we want to look at is print. So print by definition is print, but there is another function that you can use this one for. So as I mentioned before, on the approved ones, you won't be able to see, you'll see cannot edit. You can't see the information you already added to that submission. So let's say that you need to find out what password you used. How do you find that? Well, if you click on print, you'll see that this would print off all of those same, all this is the same information that you entered when you were creating this submission, including the professor password. So you can pull it up from here. Can't change it from here, but you can at least see all of the information that you have sent them. All right, so let's go to the next one. The next choice would be archive. Archiving is great because it does maintain the historical data. Keep in mind, though, if you archive, it will archive the testing center's submission as well. All right, next would be clone. So in the older form of professors, we used to have it so that when you came over here and you clicked on new submission, it would show you all of the prior submissions answers. That made it easier for a lot of professors to quickly go in and just make some tweaks and add some new information. This no longer does that. Now it is a brand new slate when you go to create a new submission. So let's say that you do want to create something that's very close to the same one that you had before. For example, here's Greek 300 exam 1. Well, now we want to make Greek 300 exam 2. If you'll come over here, you could click clone, and then you can simply clone it. That will leave this submission completely alone. It will create a new one that says clone of Greek 300 exam 1. Then you could just simply go in there, tweak it, make any changes, change the dates, change whatever it is you need to change, and then you can submit this. So that's going to be how the clone feature will work. Last but not least, if the testing center allows that permission, you will be able to delete your submissions. If you delete them, you cannot get them back. The testing center cannot get them back. Register Blast cannot get them back. They're really gone. And if you delete them, it also deletes that submission for the actual testing center. So it's not like there's another copy someplace else. So please be careful and use this sparingly or not at all. It is always better to archive it because at least then you can get it back. So that is the way that all of this actually works. I want to come over here now and show you the second part of this was your existing submissions. And now let's go in and see how you would create a new submission. So you would come over here, click on the plus sign, and it's going to bring up the submission builder wizard. From here, you'll see at the top that the testing center has added directions. Please read those and follow those. You'll come in here and you'll create a submission name. You want to select the exam group. So let's go ahead and add a submission name. And then we want to select the exam group that you're going to have attached to this. So it may be that you're teaching business, and it may be that you're teaching foreign language. So if you want this submission to go to both of these areas, you would choose both exam groups. If you wanted to just go to one, then just have it attached to one. Then here's your start date and your end date. When do you want this exam offered? And then here is the time restriction. So the time restriction, if you do nothing, which is what most testing centers recommend, then your exam will be offered for these days, anytime the testing center is open for the schedule that it's attached to. If you need it to have restricted hours, like for example, if you put in here, you want it to start at 9 a.m. and you want it to end at 2 p.m. and you want that to start on January the 24th, you want that to go through till January the 26th. That means on the 24th, 25th, and 26th, those hours 9 to 2 are when that exam will be offered. This is not the start time on this date, and this is not the end time on this date. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So anyway, just be careful with time restrictions. Down here, you will see that you will be adding your allotted minutes. This is how long your exam is. You do need to talk to your testing center and verify if they're using the accommodation tools. If they are, then for example, let's say you put in 60 minutes here, but a student is a double time student. That means when the student registers, the system will automatically refigure this and register the student for 120 minutes. But if you are just making these directly for a student, or they're not using the accommodation tools, then you can go ahead and add in whatever minutes on here. This is something you'll probably need to talk to your testing center about if there's a question. All right, then you would simply click next, and then you would come down to manage campuses. So these are for folks who are attached to several campuses. So if your institution has several different campuses, then you are able to create one submission and have it go to all of these different campuses. So when it does that, it will go in one time. Or if you do not have, your institution does not have more than one site, then you're not going to see this, and don't even worry about it. Just a quick note on here. One of the questions that has come up in the past was, well, yes, when you create the submission, it does allow you to send it to all these campuses at one time. But what about editing that submission? So this is the thing. If you edit the submission, whether it's been approved or unapproved, it will go to all of the same campuses. That edit is going to go through to all of those campuses. Keep in mind, though, once the testing center has approved it, that submission becomes an exam, which is a different entity. And so if you make a change on the submission here, that's not going to change the exam. So that one, once again, you'll probably need to communicate with your testing center if there's a question. All right, coming down here is the file management. I already showed this to you, telling you that this was one of those areas where you would be able to edit after a submission is approved. So in here, you're able to drag and drop your files. It may be that you're sending in a paper or pencil exam. It may be that you're sending in a formula sheet. It could be anything at all that you need to send to the testing center that they will be able to pull up with that student's registration. Then next would be provide all details below. These are the questions that your testing center has added for you to fill out so that they'll be able to handle the submission that you've sent them. So please fill out all of this information. It should say if it's required, like this one does, but if you skip it, and the system may send you back if it was required, and they're going to outline it in red so you can see what you need to answer. So please fill this one out. Then we're coming down to the eligibility and restrictions section that we've already talked about. So here you are able to add restricted students, either by name or by email or however your testing center wants you to add them. Once again, you may need to communicate with them to find out what's the best way. They will set it up in here on how many restricted students you can add to this. If you don't have any restricted students, then skip this. Or if you're a professor and you're including an exam for 30 people, this is probably not going to go up to 30 people. So just skip that step and go to next. And then this is your final instructions. It's just a, hey, did we forget anything we didn't ask you? Anything we need to know, then you can submit this. Once you submit it, then it will go to the testing center. It will go to your submissions page as unapproved, go to the testing center as unapproved, and then the process will start when they're going to approve it or reject it. So that is how the submissions page works. Please check back for more videos, and I'm just going to give you a spoiler alert, go to help right here to find more videos on how this is best to be used. Thank you.